Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Epic Voices. I'm your host today, Brianna, and I have some special guests with me, some amazing women, and I cannot wait to introduce them. But if this is your first time checking in, I just want to let you know what is Epic Voices. So, Epic Voices is a space where students, leaders, and community advocates and change makers can come together, bridge the gap, and inspire action. So, let me introduce our guests. So first we have Siobhan Harris. She is the founder and CEO of Thrive In. She is nationally published journalist and one of YWCA Columbus Women on the Rise who brings a powerful perspective on leadership and creating spaces for women. Next, we have Adriana Gordon. She is a policy aide for the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. She's also the president of Central Ohio Young Black Democrats, and she also is a leader dedicated to civic engagement and community impacts. And last but certainly not least, we have Kaylin Pittman, who is a community engagement analyst for Columbus City Council, whose work and journey reflect a deep commitment to community policy and service. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hey. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Yes, we're doing good.
Y'all look amazing.
Thank you. You too.
So us always being Black women, but just women in general, we always like to look good wherever we go. So can you name something you do not leave the house without?
My lip gloss. And especially the lip bar has a lip gloss called Trophy Wife. It goes with everything. It's a little translucent with a little bit of gold shimmer. So it's like, I want to do something, but not the most. And so that and a little thing of Vaseline have to stay in my purse. Yeah.
I would say I'm big on like skincare, so I gotta wash my face. Like I cannot leave the house if I don't like do a whole 3-step routine. And then also my lip gloss, I use like Patrick Ta and my Fenty mascara.
Ooh, I heard about that mascara.
Yeah, you need that for sure.
Yes. And I'm always, I would say the same ladies always need my lip gloss, got to keep my lips popping. And definitely some hand sanitizer. I'm always touching hands and shaking hands. I cannot go anywhere because my immune system, y'all, is not the best. I will get sick in a minute. So got to keep that on me. Yeah.
Something in the air right now.
For sure. With your weather changing.
I agree. I would definitely say lip gloss and feminine wipes.
Yes. Got to keep that.
Yes. So I want to kind of start us off with a light question, but reflective. If you can describe the season that you're in right now in 3 words, what would that be?
You throwing stuff at us, girl.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yes.
Now, this was a good one. And I actually have kind of been thinking about this in my personal life. And I think that 3 words that would describe kind of where I am right now is shedding. Shedding the old me or old habits and different things, but I'm also in a transformative, space. And then the last word is stretch. I'm trying to stretch myself, stretch my beliefs just to whatever it is. So those will be my 3 words for right now. Are you a church girl? Yes, I am. I was gonna say I am. My faith is strong. I cannot. I feel it. I was gonna say I gotta go with that. Yes. I would say for me, my 3 words are, I have to do it. And I added an additional word there. But I'm at a point now where, the dreams can't be dormant. And if you're an ambitious person who likes to achieve and is goal-oriented, it's so easy for a goal to become a dream. And so I'm at the point where I'm like, if this is the life that I say that I want, and in this moment today, what do I have to do? Good, bad, not fun, to get it. And so it's very much roll up your sleeves and go after what you're saying that you want. Because how else is it going to come?
Yeah, being about it. I love that.
3 words I would say is growing. I feel like I'm constantly growing and evolving as a person. Hardworking. I feel like everything I do comes with that principle of hard work and knowing that nothing comes easy worth having. And perseverance. I feel like over these past couple of years, I went through a lot, and even things that I thought I would never have to go through, and I've persevered and just keep growing and keep elevating.
Amen.
Yes.
Because life is always unexpected.
Yes.
You kind of know what's going to be thrown at you. And it's all about, how you respond to it, which is going to help you build some resilience, which I feel like all of you ladies had. for you, Siobhan, I would like to start off with you. With you building an organization, Thriving, creating a space for women to be authentically themselves, to learn, to grow, to be pushed outside of their comfort zone. And I completed the Thriving program. I rave about it all the time. I was just telling Kaden about it. Like,
Yes, you were.
You
have to do it. Yes, she's encouraged me. I'm signing up. Yes.
If that space was provided for you when you were a young adult, what do you think that would have had an impact on you? Like, how do you think that would have?
It would have been revolutionary. And I tell people that a lot of times what separates us from other communities is exposure, access, and opportunity. When you can see beyond your experience and beyond what you think is the height of achievement or is doable, that changes everything. And so coming into rooms, with like-minded individuals, you immediately walk in and you have this sigh of relief because it's like, oh, it's not just me who has these fears, who has these obstacles and all these things. And then you get in the space. So now you're affirmed and you have a safe space of community. And then you're put in front of women who have done what you were trying to do and can tell you, girl, it's actually not that audacious what you're thinking. And let me tell you 1, 2, 3, what I did. And here's the email of someone. So you can do it too. And so you're really in a room of opportunity and like-minded women. And for me growing up, I was in such a shell. And thankfully, I had an amazing mother who forced me to not limit what I could do to my perspective. She really, really pushed that we exceeded beyond our circumstance. And so I was blessed and had a privilege in that. But it would have been revolutionary to look up and say, okay, there's another quiet girl who's quiet and a little bit in the back, but she's doing dope things. Or she was quiet like me, and now she has such a commanding voice in this space. It just, man, it's revolutionary. And so I'm so blessed that we're able to do that for other women.
Yes, and it's making an amazing impact in Columbus in general. I can definitely see it moving across.
you.
Okay, the world. We're going to fit that in.
Amen. Listen, we can go to church very quickly. Amen.
Nationally, nationally, globally.
So, Kayla and Adriana, even though you never experienced like a Thriving, you all have experienced different opportunities that helped you grow and develop into the young woman that you are right now. Can you talk about the platform that you all have on your own and how you're pouring into your community, into young girls to be able to, just dream big?
I would say for me, I want to show young women that we're not a monolith. Like success looks different. Making it looks different. Like you don't have to fit into a box. And I feel like when I first came here, because I grew up in poverty, I didn't really grow up learning what to do, more so what not to do, and what I did, what not to be like, and what steps not to take. So it's like, when I did come here into this space of politics, I feel like I was in a box that I was so scared to speak because I didn't speak like everybody else. I was so scared to share my thoughts because I didn't have the same perspectives on things as everybody else. But I think learning that I don't have to be like the girls next to me, but I can still learn from them and I can still gain from their experiences is something that I want to show in my journey of leadership to younger girls coming up.
That's good.
Thank you.
That was so good, Adriana. And we were even talking before this podcast about just giving back and pouring in. I think that's where my purpose is rooted in. Similar to Adriana, I grew up here in Columbus, Ohio, in the Linden area. And I was talking to some young ladies last week. I never imagined my life would be what it is now because of past circumstances or different traumas or different things like that. And I want young girls to know, like Adriana said, we all look differently. We may not all come in the same fashion or form, but we all have something to add back into this world and create impact. I believe there are times that we're not always going to get along. We're not always going to agree, especially with a certain atmosphere. But it's our job to continue to put their names in rooms that they may not be in, to uplift them, to have advice, to be encouraging, and just to show up. I know that's what I'm rooted in right now, giving back to the community that gave so much to me. And like the lady said, you may not know exactly what it looks like, but there is someone out there that you can look to as a mentor or put yourself in a space that's uncomfortable. I know for me, coming first out in politics, I started off in education. So coming into the politics world, the language, the dress, the talk, the networking was all, new to me. And I didn't know really what that looked like or how I fit into the mold. But I had a Black woman named Stephanie House who told me to just walk in faith. The things that have built you and your experiences are what makes you special. And it's all something that we can use to work together.
I love that.
That's really good. Yeah. And that's something that we kind of tell our students, that you don't have to be a particular age to have an impact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my middle schoolers, even though I'm older than them, I feel them all the time. Like, you inspire me. Like, you teach me something every time that I bring something to you all.
Mhm.
And I think that's important to, you know, just tell younger girls that, you know, there's always somebody else to look up to, but you can make an impact wherever you at as well.
Yeah,
Right.
it's such an important thing to say to young girls, and I'm so glad that at Epic y'all are really instilling that, because this thing, when you talk about what it is to make an impact, it's literally just making a difference.
Yeah.
There is no size definition.
Yeah.
There is no amount of people definition. Social media might have you think it has to be that, but impact could just be telling the quiet person in the hallway, I love your outfit. And maybe they haven't heard that ever. And now they have a different level of confidence. It could be helping an older woman carry her groceries. Like, there's so many ways. And it's such a good way to end your day and say, what impact did I have?
Yes.
Like on someone, what difference, no matter the size, have I made?
That's powerful.
That was good.
Thank you.
When you think about the women in your life from when you were grade age to now, who are the women that paved the way for you to inspire you in any type of way?
Someone near and dear to me who I lost in November of 2024 is my grandmother. I feel like she instilled in me that hard work. She was a mother of 5 kids. She worked really hard her whole life, and she wasn't necessarily in politics or a professional woman by any means, but just the way she showed up, the way she was that matriarch for her family, the way she worked hard her whole life, and to the point where she never got to retire. That's probably not the best, but she's definitely instilled hard work into me. Another lady who has impacted me since I've been here in Columbus would be my mentor, State Representative Humphrey. I feel like when I came to her, she didn't miss a beat. And I used to wonder, like, why is she on me like this? Like, why are you making me do, like, but one day she cussed me clean out. Like,
Sometimes you need that.
Yes.
Sometimes you need that.
I looked at my phone. Yes, it's not at the moment, but then I'm looking at my phone like, this lady really care about me.
She love you.
Yes, like,
Yes.
and it's tough love, and it's like, it's so sad that so many of us who are Black women have to, like, kind of like, we need that, but it really was. And I told her that when I stopped working for her too, and she started tearing up. I'm like, that was the moment where I realized, like, you really care about me. Like, you care about what I do, how I present myself, how I move. So that's another lady who kept that standard for me of hard work, and I want to see you do great things. So.
Because you know it was genuine. It came from
Right, exactly. It's not, you're not just picking at me. You want the most for me. So
I would have to say my mother. And she just laid an incredible foundation of values and of ethics that have it. And it's hard, to your point, when the love is tough, it's hard to see it as a value. But she had an unapologetic standard of excellence. Like, we could not get C's in our household. And she would always say, C's are average, and I don't have the average children. A's are excellent. And so I don't understand what other option of grade you should be bringing home. And that's hard as a child, and because it almost is like this fear of failure. But what it's also told me is that hard work is expected and high performance is expected. You know, and I think for you all watching, what you'll learn is that when you get into spaces, it's not just hard work and performance alone that's going to get you to your dreams and help you achieve. That is literally just the baseline. And so if you can at least check that off, you're going in the right direction. And so for me, she just really instilled, don't be afraid to do hard work. Don't be afraid to dream big, but then don't be afraid to lay out a strategy to get there as well. And be a good person along the way and love the Lord and pour back into your community and all this.
Yes. All of the things. And I'll piggyback off you, Siobhan, when you use the word average. My grandmother used to use that a lot just in life in general. She was like, do you want to be average or do you want to be excellent in all the things? And that kind of built my foundation. And I know all the wonderful ladies who I love are going to be watching. So I have to start by saying I was raised by tremendous women, my great-grandmothers, grandma, my mother, my aunties, just cousins who have all poured into me and kind of have been the seed of it. You know, it's a lot of us. And sometimes I'm like, man, we got a family full of women. But that in itself helped make me, you know, who I am. But when I think immediately outside of my roots and the foundation, I think about the women who have watered, you know, me to grow. And it was 2 women, because I thought about this before the podcast of who I wanted to mention. One was past state representative Stephanie House, who I mentioned before. Like I said, I had never been in the politics game before. I had dropped out of my career as a teacher, went and did an internship at the Ohio House of Representatives. And she just kind of seen my passion. She knew that I was very green in the space that I didn't know how to navigate it. But she was like, you have a passion and your past experiences are going to guide you through this. And kind of like Rep. Humphrey, she put me in hard spaces to go up and speak. And in rooms I felt uncomfortable. And then although we had tough conversations, some cuss outs, some girl, get your stuff together. Why do you have that on today? It made me a better woman, and it made me feel like I can be an unapologetic Black woman, from my hair to my clothes to the way that I speak to the people I speak to. I wouldn't be where I am today without her in this career path, so I always give her kudos. And then the last woman I wanted to mention, I actually have never said this to her publicly, so I wanted to take the chance today because I know she's going to watch it, was a after-school teacher named Miss V, Miss Vatulo.
Hey, Miss V.
Yes, hey, Miss V, I know I'm going to send this to you, girl. So for me, like I said, I grew up in Linden, and my mom at the time, I was transitioning as a urban Baptist school kid to a private Catholic school. That was a tremendous transition for me, from the socioeconomic status to just being one of few Black people in my entire school. And also on top of having a learning disability with kids who were accelerating far beyond, where I was at. But she just took an interest in me without me saying anything. I was very quiet, like you too, Siobhan. I just kind of stayed to myself. But she poured into me daily, whether it was tutoring. She took me to go read after school. She took me to her home, even extended her daughter to help tutor me and just pour into me and let me know, you may not feel you belong, but you do belong. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have a space to grow and be who you are. So I just thank those two ladies because they showed me beyond what I could see, that I could see the future self that I had not seen before.
That's really good. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. What can we tell, I'm thinking about the high Sierras, but what can we tell those students who, if they're saying like stay to yourself, right, it's stake for, don't share anything personal about you, or, it's kind of like what they say, what happens in its house stays in its house. Like, what can you say to students who have that mentality but don't understand the importance of opening up and being vulnerable, and what kind of like opportunities and connections that they can gain from that?
I would say, one, you should always have discernment about what you share, who you speak to, and how you speak and navigate outside of your home. So definitely keep that inkling of discernment. But I will say one thing that I have also learned since graduating college, and even in college, it's like, it's important to talk to people. It's important to grow that network. Like, I met Kayla when I was an intern at the State House. Like, it's important to talk to people, to know people, because at the end of the day, these jobs are not handed out simply based off your resume. Even though we want to believe that, well, in the world of politics, I would say, even though we want to believe that, it's really based off who you know. And so many doors can open just based off a single conversation. So,
and I would say, we as humans and as people, we were never meant to live this life just in our bubble. And we just weren't. And so you were doing yourself such a disservice to contain yourself, to just yourself, because you have so much to offer to the world. And once you realize that, that you approach life differently when you understand that I have something of value, or just me as a person is worthy of something. And there's so many opportunities out there. And while it can feel scary to do something different, this is what I often had to tell myself. I was terrified of public speaking and all the different things. And I would play it out in the scenario in my mind. And I would play a game called What's the Worst That Can Happen? Because I still want it. And I'm like, but did I die? And so I say, also think about that. Like, face the scary thing. If it feels scary to talk to the person or send the email, go take your mind down that road to really understand why. And what is the worst that is going to happen if you take the risk and if you take the jump? And what you're going to find is that you're not going to die, first of all. And what you're going to find also is that you have a cushion. There is always an ability to bounce back. Even if you mess up, even if the end result is not ideal, you're always going to have an opportunity to try again, to do it better. And your worst is often not going to happen at all. And so I tell people, face the boogeyman. So you got to check in with yourself, and you got to be honest with yourself. What feels scary? Why do I feel scary about it? And what is going to happen if I do it? What really could happen? And if you don't have that conversation with yourself, surround yourself with people who can remind you of that.
that's really good.
Thank you.
Yes, that was so good. And what I would say to your question as well, I would add to that, I think a lot of people, sometimes we were raised in households where it was like, don't go out and talk about certain things, or don't share certain things. And I do believe, to your point, you do need to have discernment to protect yourself, to protect your family, and all those things. But sometimes, and I've been pushing this with people I know, you're the best author of your story, and you should not be embarrassed, or you should not feel discouraged to share the things that you have been through, because sometimes the things you have been through, another sister has been through,
Right.
or somebody else, and you may be able to say, hey, this happened to me, this happened to you, and an idea forms and something great comes to fruition out of that. And so I just say own it. Own the things that you feel that other people may not accept, that you may not fit into the box or the mold, but that may be the one thing that makes you stand out amongst others and your peers.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That is often your superpower.
Yes.
That thing that you
Yes.
feel is so cringy is likely where your greatest strength comes from.
Yes.
And so no, you're so spot on with that.
Yes, yes.
And I think that pigs off of what I was saying earlier. It's like, I used to be so scared to share because I'm like, my perspective, nobody like, but once I realized like, you actually have a different perspective that's a good one.
And
like
politics.
people want to hear that,
So,
right? And it's
yeah.
like, once I realized like, people do want to hear you. Like your voice do matter. Like it definitely helped with like my confidence and being someone in a room that's not scared to talk and have my own perception.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you said earlier with it's okay to be you and it's okay to be different. And you don't have to be the same as the person.
You shouldn't be different.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think social media create this narrative that you have to be this way by this age and you need to do this, you need to do that. Or we always tell our students, do not against
It's so not fun. Like, why would you want
Yeah.
to do that?
No.
Yeah.
And speaking your truth,
Being like everybody
you know,
else.
sometimes makes you more relatable. I feel like even with us, with our jobs and our titles, it's probably young girls are thinking like, oh my gosh, like that is just so big and they're doing all these great things. And yes, we are, but we've also had experience that make us more relatable to them and their experience. And if we don't share, they'll never be able to have that relatability or see themselves in us, you know?
Yeah, we still put on our bonnets at night.
Right.
And do all the things. We are all just
girl.
black girls.
Just
at the
a
end of
girl.
the day. Yeah, that's it.
Can you name a moment when you was like, you know what, this is my moment. This is the moment where I'm going to step in and be confident and I'm going to speak up and I'm going to use my voice and I'm going to use it for a purpose. Like, what was that moment for you when you found that confidence? I think right now, even myself, and I think I spoke to Siobhan about this, I always, confidence is like a daily thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's something you
Yeah.
It's a muscle.
Yes,
Yes.
you have to talk to yourself every day, point to yourself, affirm yourself. And it might sound cringy, but that is like real life. To be like, you know what, I'm called into this role, I'm called into this space, like I'm meant to be here.
Yeah, I will say too, I mean, as the youngest here, I'm still working on it. It's a battle every day. And I do like what you said. It's like you have to put yourself in uncomfortable positions. Like I'm terrified of public speaking. People are like, really? Like, yes. But I still do it. And I know, like, as long as I'm uncomfortable, I'm doing something right. It's like, you know, when your mama used to make you go to practice or make you go to school, like, you got to be that person in your life that makes yourself do hard things because you know that you deserve it. And this is what it is for you.
I would say for me, Bree, to your question, one of them, my life has been, again, I was the quiet girl in the background. So every time I opened my mouth or did something, I'm like, it always was like this big leap. But for me, most recently, probably started my business, Thrive In. And, you know, we started our business at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I had worked at a company for like 10, 12 years. And so I was raised, you have a job. And so this idea of being an entrepreneur, it's like, girl, what you about to do? And the thing about being an entrepreneur, no one should be able to talk better about your business and stronger about your business than you. Right. And so I'm doing pitch competitions and I'm in rooms and talking about Thrive In. And it's all very scary because like I said before, I'm just a Black girl. So I'm standing in these rooms and I'm like, shoot, how do I look? And like, what's my hair doing? Because it feel a little off, this gel ain't holding like I needed to. And shoot, these are people who are in business and decision makers. So am I saying the right words? So I'm questioning myself. But the thing that I always had to remember was my why. And I do believe that is my superpower, that I do it anyway. Similar to you with public speaking, is because I truly believe in what I'm doing and the impact and the difference that I'm making. And so when you know, if something feels scary, why are you doing it? And what you're often going to find is that why is so much bigger and more important than your fear. And at that point, it's like, I have to get out of my own way.
Yeah.
I can't not do it because if I don't, what happens? These people don't get X. The world doesn't get X. I don't get to do X. And so it again, I just always had to go back to sometimes you got to do it scared. Sometimes you got to do it uncomfortable, but you got to do it.
Yes.
Because what happens if you don't? And that is actually the scarier part for me is what if I didn't? And I'm just like, I can't go to sleep at night. That's not a life that I want to live and have all those thoughts floating in my head.
It's nothing worse than wasted potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes. And Siobhan, to your point of superpowers, I love that word of superpower. That's something that I have like claimed in the last few weeks is superpower.
Come on.
Yes. And I have shared with you ladies, like I have a learning disability. I have ADHD, some dyslexia. It's always been a thing for me that I have to overcome daily. And so I think for me, confidence is a thing that I have to constantly work at, although I have had some experiences public speaking and writing for elected officials and things. It's still something always in the back of my head. But I would say the moment that really kind of tied it together for me was a incident with my brother. My brother passed away last year. He was shot.
Sorry.
Yes. And so it's been challenging for me because on one end, I was an advocate for public safety and gun violence and all these things. And then it hit home really, really hard. And so I was asked by my family to go present at court and trial, and we'll be going in a few weeks. And I said to myself, I don't want to do this. Not for multiple different reasons. I don't want to do this because I feel like my learning disability, am I going to be able to get up in front of this trial and say the right things? Am I going to get off track? But also because I don't want to deal with the emotional things. But to your point of the superpower, I'm reclaiming it by saying every time I feel that change in that negative talk in my head that says my disability is my superpower. My experiences is my superpower. The trauma is my superpower. And that has allowed me to feel more confidence even now in this season that I hadn't had before.
Well, and I think you said something really important too of like, I didn't want to do it.
Yes.
And so many times we stop at that. And so to all of your amazing viewers, there are things that you don't want to do, but you still need to do it, or you still can do it. What you are going to find in this life is there are a lot of things that we do not want to do, but we have to do it, and you can still do it. I often hear people say, I'm at capacity. And I'm like, okay, you're at emotional capacity, but I think you can still get that job done.
Yeah.
It won't be, you won't have the biggest smile on your face, but I think that you can still get it done. And you can still do hard things, and the outcome is always, even in your example, it's always going to be worth it. You are never going to regret it. No one ever does a workout and says, dang, I hate that I did that.
Right.
Nobody. And ladies, let me ask, I know this is a little off topic, Brie, but when you guys do reach that place of, I don't want to do it, because I am struggling as a young woman with that and still getting up every day and showing up, what have some tools that you guys have used to say, no, I might not feel like doing that today, but I'm going to still have to show up tomorrow?
I just force myself. I feel like really what motivates, I'm a big sister too. I have two little sisters, one little brother, and I'm the oldest in my family, like the oldest cousin, everything. So I just really feel like the pressure is on my back to like, even if you don't want to, you have to be successful. Like you have to profit off every opportunity. Like you have to show people that you can go from 0 to 100. And I just want to be that, like.
You understand it's bigger than you.
Right. Exactly. So even when I don't want to do it, I know one, it's going to be beneficial for me, but also for everybody else who's looking at me.
And you touched on something so important. One of the biggest lessons, and I learned this from a therapist that we had in a session that we do in wellness with Thrive In, and I never forgot this. And she said there is motivation and there's discipline, and we often rely on motivation. So we might say, oh, I don't feel motivated to work. Oh, I don't feel motivated to hang out with this person. Motivation, it changes based on our emotions. So it's fleeting. It comes and it goes. Discipline, you are going to do it every day. Every day we brush our teeth and we take a shower. We have to do it. And so to your point of things that we don't want to do, you almost have to have a conversation with yourself and say, these are my non-negotiables. I'm going to do it anyway because I have to do it because of the outcome that I want and that the world needs from me. I'm going to do it, whether that's clean eating or losing weight or studying more to get good grades. Whatever it is, do not wait for your motivation because your motivation will have you sitting on the couch or scrolling on social media. Tap into your discipline, take a deep breath and do it. And the thing about discipline is the more you do it, it becomes a habit. Most people, we now wake up every day and it's almost instinctive to brush our teeth and to do our hair and to take a shower. That's just a check of getting ready for the day. And so think about your goals in that same way. This is just how I'm going to operate because I have to.
Absolutely. That's good. I agree with all of that. To be honest, I will say I'm very vulnerable, like with my mentors and good with the person I received discipleship from. I'm like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. can we process this? And sometimes like I'm like, okay, I don't feel like doing this. But then like you say, I remember my lie. And then I'll also ask myself, well, is this a season where I need to rest a little bit? Do I need to recharge? And what is going on in my life that is making me question what it is that I need to do? And sometimes you do need to rest. And then sometimes you just need to grind it out.
Yeah. And you got to know why you resting. That's the thing, because there's rest and there's laziness. We gotta be real.
Yes.
And so what you can't do is rest and not know why and not have a game plan. I'm resting because I need to decompress. I'm resting because my body needs to heal. I'm resting because I need to strategize. I'm resting because I need to allow this person to pour into me. Like, rest is such a key word, but know why you're doing it. Because if not, you very well could just be being lazy. And that's a hard lesson to take in. But yeah, if you're going to sit, make it productive. It's still a verb.
Yeah. That's good. And too, like sometimes I'm too focused on the finished goal. And I'm like, no, look at the strategy. Like, what is the plan? What's step one, step
Small
two?
steps.
Yeah. Let's take one step at a time each day. And, you know, I have people in my corner that's like, Bree, you focus on the wrong thing. You 10 steps ahead. You need to slow down.
Yeah.
So, and it's good to have that honesty, like, you know, in your circle.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have pressure to be at a certain place in your life right now at this age? Do you feel like you have any type of pressure? And if so, what do you do with that pressure?
My pressure is self-imposed. I am a highly ambitious individual. And so I can't think of a life where I don't have a goal. Like I can't even picture that. And so the challenge with that sometimes is that your goalposts can easily move. You reach the goal and then you're like, what next? What next? What's next? And so for me, to your point about resting, it's often hard for me to rest because it doesn't feel productive. I feel like I'm being stagnant. And so there's a pressure that I put on myself to just achieve and always do all the things. And so for me, what I've learned is to just check in with myself and say, what is my motivation coming from? Am I doing this because I just need people to see that I'm achieving? Because that's not it. Am I doing this to please X and feed an ego, or am I doing this to make an impact? Let me recalibrate for a minute. And then also, like you, Bree, especially if you're a big thinker, you first see the goal, break that down into baby steps. The goal is often too hard to digest and it's so hard to take in. And that is overwhelming to me when I think about all that I can be and all that my business could be. And you truly believe it. What do I need to do today? You have to stay grounded. I have to stay grounded in the present. That helps me because I say there's 24 hours to the day. I'm about to sleep. For some of those, I actually want to kick it. For some of those, and I want to be productive. What can I realistically accomplish today in this hour? And that for me really helps me. It gives me something to achieve, but it's not so audacious. It really just grounds it.
I would say the same. Self-imposed pressure, ambition. Like me and Kaylin was just talking before it started. It's like to serve on so many boards, go and pursue your master's degree and work full time. It's like, why are you putting all this pressure on yourself? But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to miss out on any opportunity. Like, I want the most out this life. When I go sit down somewhere at 60 or 70, 80, I want to be able to say, like, I lived my life. I had a good time. No, I made a lot of money, prayerfully.
That part, prayerfully.
Okay. So it's like, it's definitely self-imposed. And I'm struggling right now with, is it worth it or should I slow down so I don't burn myself out? But right now I'm addicted to it. Like if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm being lazy. Like, why are you just sitting around? If you sit and I should be typing up something or something. So I'm definitely in that mode right now where I'm just trying to figure it out and make everything make sense.
Yeah. And there's a season for that.
It is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a season for all of that. And I think we're all high functioning, women, we kind of love that pressure. And I kind of live by the motto of pressure does build diamonds. You just have to put your pressure in moderation at times, like you both were saying. And so I am hungry. I'm always thinking about what is the next opportunity? Where can I go help? Where can I go make impact? Like Siobhan saying, even if it's small with my family or big, citywide. But sometimes you got to sit with yourself and check yourself and say, I don't have capacity for this. Sometimes I do get too hungry and it takes the people close to me to say, you're putting too much pressure on yourself and I'm watching you deteriorate as you're trying to climb and you're being counterproductive. And so sitting down and really saying, like you were saying, what is the roadmap? What is the timeline? When am I going to have time for myself, for my family, for my recharge? That makes sense. But then also, guys, too, I hate to say this because I'm trying to reframe my mind, but I feel like are so many societal pressures too on Black women
For sure.
to be married, to have families, to have the job, to have the health, and just all these different things that are going through my head. And I try to tell myself I'm on my own timeline. You know, that does not dictate, but I can't say that it doesn't sometimes get in the back of my head of those pressures additional added. Yeah.
One of the things that I like to do at the end of the year is I'll just close my eyes and I call it like radical dreaming. And I will say, okay, if money wasn't an option, and what would my life look like? If I had nothing to base it on, if I could just go out and do the thing, what would my life look like? What is making me happy? What is bringing me joy? What is making me feel loved and valued and important? And it very well could be career. That's a small part of it. But for me, it's also having moments where I can wake up without responsibility, or having moments where I wake up and I feel good physically in my body, or my family is taken care of. And then when you start to think about that, and I like to call it like thinking from a mindset of abundance, then I can start to say, okay, life is not always just about this career. And that it helps take some of that pressure off, because you just remind yourself that there's such a bigger world out there, and we have to be happy. We have to have joy. We have to thrive in it. And a lot of times that goes beyond those tangibles that we're trying to achieve in life. And there is a place for that. And it's very important, but that's not everything. Like, you got to be happy. And to your point about resting, what's the point of getting to the finish line and you're tired and you burn out and all things, you can't even enjoy it.
Right.
And I'm like, I thought we was all working this hard because we want to make a difference, but I also want to be on the beach.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And not be broke when I
happy.
do it. Yeah. And see the world and do all the things. That also is what life is about.
It's getting warm too.
It's time. It's time, girls. Take the trip.
We outside this summer, ladies.
Right.
I think to close us out, obviously we all grew up with different backgrounds and experienced different things. But how can we encourage the young girls, even young boys too, but young girls, that it doesn't matter what you're going through right now, right? Your environment, you may not have a supportive father, you may not have a supportive mother, you may not have the finances or whatever the case may be. It's like we still want to encourage you to dream. And despite your circumstances right now, you can still be successful. Like, how can we encourage them? And like, what type of advice can we give them to keep dreaming big and to be positive and still chase it?
As far as like how can we encourage them, I think it's about being supportive and being a person that want to pass out an opportunity. This is an email you need to you need to reach out to them. This is the room you need to sit in. I think it's about feeding into the next person. I feel like believing in somebody goes a long way. Like, if you know, like, these girls next to me see something in me that I might not necessarily even see in myself, and they support me in a way that I didn't even have for myself, that does a lot for the person. So that's what I would say.
I would say, where you're at now is not the end. Like, your current circumstance, whatever your mindset, however you might view yourself, that is not the end of your story. You're actually only at the beginning. And when this is the thing, if you're at the beginning, you have such a long way to go to evolve, to change, to build the skill sets and like hone the muscle and all the things. And so think about that first. Understand that wherever you are now, if you hate it, it's miserable or it's beautiful, this is not it. If it's beautiful, it's going to get even more beautiful and better. If it's terrible, it can only go up from here. So there's that. Also think about too, when you are in those situations where you feel like your circumstances are so limiting, take a second and really think about what could life look like for you. Don't be afraid to dream. And it can feel scary and it might not feel realistic, but then start to put together a roadmap for what that could look like. ChatGPT can help you. Social media can help you visualize that, but get it out of your mind, like come out of your head and really make it make sense. Then the last thing, think about who you're surrounding yourself with, because that matters. That really, really matters. Are the people around you motivating you? Are they just reinforcing the negative things that you already think about yourself? Those aren't your friends. Those are not your people. Are the people around you? And if you don't have it, go get it. And that's why Epic is so life-changing for a lot of people, is go find the places, the programs, the people, the social media accounts, the podcasts that allow you to be inspired, that allow you to feel better about yourself. Start to cultivate your own environment that starts to make you feel how you want to feel. Because all of those things, you can control what comes up on your timeline. You can control what podcast you listen to. Maybe you can't control where you lay your head down at night and all the things, but you can control what happens in your mind. And so start to change all of those things, because where you're at now, that's not a period, it's a comma. And life is a run-on sentence. And so just, again, who are you surrounding yourself with? What are the goals? What are your dreams? What does that look like? That life without limits. What does that look like? What is that vision? And start to write out how you'll get there, because it can happen.
And this is evidence right here.
Yes. Yes. And to piggyback off what you said, right, about where you want to go, to my point earlier, you guys are the author of your own story. And like you said, it does not end at this moment. There is so much more to happen. And when I was getting ready for this podcast, I was going through some old photos of me when I was younger. And I was thinking, what would I say to my younger self? Would she be proud? What is she thinking? You know, all of these things were like running through my head. And I think the biggest thing I want young people to walk away with is you have to have positive self-talk. You're always going to have things that are going to make you feel less than or unworthy or feeling like there's attacks or haters or different things, but you have to constantly remind yourself, and sometimes say it out loud, write it down, have a good support system with your friends and your environment, because you may not always get it from your family, like you were talking about, or from your environment, but seeking out those places, and they are readily available, whether they're on social media, find organizations like Epic Youth or We Are Linden. Just get out there as much as you can. And then sometimes too, that shedding, sometimes you do have to shed off some different people if they're not pouring into you the way that they need to. And that's okay. Some people are here for a season and some are for a reason, and so many different things. So just continue to pour into yourself, because even all of us up here, I think we probably still sometimes struggle with confidence, but we have to remind ourselves who we are, where we're going, and why we're doing it.
Amen.
That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my lady.
Yeah.
So do you all have anything that you would like to share? Any like announcements or things that you would like to share with the community at all?
Yeah, there's one thing I think I want to say, and you kind of hit on this about passing the torch. You see us here talking, we are available to you guys. Do not feel like that you cannot personally reach out to us. I think all of us have mentors who have helped shape us, and we want to pass the torch and get back to you. So if you see us up here and you're like, oh, okay, I want to get with her, get a coffee.
Come get with us.
Yes, come get with us. Tap in with us, because we want to pour back into all of you guys, and just know we're always here as a resource to be available.
Mm-hmm. I think she spoke for all of us.
Yeah, you did. You had that up perfectly. Absolutely did.
Well, thank you for joining us today, and please check out our social media at We Are Epic, and She Is Epic for full updates in the full episode. Thank you.
Bye.